Hi, Lee here, back again with another video to go over yesterday's defeat at Burnley. Sums up the Premier League really, but on such a high off last week's win against West Ham to such a low after yesterday's defeat against Burnley. Obviously it's not the time to chuck your toys out the pram and lose hope and everything like that. It is a crushing defeat. It is a little bit underwhelming. Is it a reality check? Probably, but there's only 2 games into the season. Got plenty of time to get back to winning ways and stuff and get back on the right track. But I thought Sunderland were off yesterday. I think from the moment Mayenda missed that sitter, and he's got to take that. He's got to score that. I'd fancy anybody else to score that. He has to. And Ballard going off, I thought it's going to be one of these days. The half chance with Talby as well, where he's been a little bit unfortunate. But other than that, Sunderland has lacked imagination on the ball. Always very safe. Sideways passes, just lumping crosses into the box, which suited Burnley. Second half especially, there was no movement off the ball. I can't remember Mayenda touching the ball pretty much after he had that half penalty shout, which was never a penalty. And the was just a poor day at the office. I wouldn't say Burnley wanted it more, but I thought Burnley were very ordinary, to be honest. If you look at the 2 goals, people say it's a little bit of quality. But there's no one touched tight to Jaden Anthony in the box when he backheels it to Cullen, and there's no one within 4 yards of Cullen when he's going through, so he's got plenty of time to pick his spot and put it in the way, and the other goals are going on the counter-attack. So I don't think Burnley was great as what people are making out. I thought they were very ordinary and just there, and I think I wouldn't say it is it because Sunderland? I suppose I am saying it because Sunderland were very poor that Burnley won the game. They defended the box well. They defended the box well, but I think Sunderland, again, put it on a plate for them. I think the subs in the second half did nothing. It just made us very one-dimensional. Lafay on the right-hand side was constantly going to cut in. Patrick Roberts on the other side was just going to constantly cut in. And the 2 centre-forwards up front, and Dewey and Isidore got nothing. All got literally nout to feed off. They never had a chance, really. I can't remember them having a shot. I think, Dewey had one, but again, it's about a 25% chance he's going to hit the target, never mind score. But it's just a poor day at the office, really. I hope players haven't just come into, going into the game thinking it was just going to be easy after the West Ham game. Don't think Sadiki was as good as he was against West Ham. Obviously, Diarra wasn't as good. I thought Granit Xhaka was terrible, to be honest. Offered very little. His passing range was totally off. Defensively, the quicker we get John Lasumi in, the better, because Jensen Seelt was absolutely horrific, I thought. Did okay for the first 5 minutes on the pitch, but as soon as Burnley started targeting him, he was literally horrible. He should never be playing Premier League football. I think, see, look at Alderete, Ronaldo. I thought Ronaldo was one of the worst players on the pitch, to be honest. Don't think he offered anything going forward and was very sceptical defensively. In possession of the ball, he was very poor. Alderete looked okay, but again, he held on to the ball far too long, and you could tell he's not match fit because he was blown after about an hour. Trey Hume was probably the only standout, in my opinion. I thought he defended okay. He constantly tried things when he was on the ball. He was constantly trying to run off the ball when we had it on his side. I thought, say, out of the Trey Hume, I don't think many people stand out. There's a lot of talking points going into the Brentford game, but I don't think it's to the point where we need wholesale changes to the team, because we don't. But it's disappointing to lose against a relegation rival, really, and a team you just come up with. Because I thought, obviously, before Burnley's even had a shot on goal, that Sunderland should have been 2-0 up, really. Mayenda's chance, Talby's chance, go either side of the post, go either side of the Bravka, that's 2-0 Sunderland, you're comfortable, really. The disallowed goal, it is a foul. No matter what way you look at it, is a foul. But again, that should have been a wake-up call, because Jensen Seelt Trey Hume's misplaced the pass to Seelt. And obviously Lyle Foster's bundled at the floor, and there's a foul, but I thought, could have dealt with it a little bit better. But then Jaden Anthony's had that chance at the end of the first half as well, that he should do better with. But again, I thought it was Xhaka's going to sleep at the back post. I think other than that, I think that was Burnley's best chance the entire game, other than the goals. But I think the goals that were given, obviously, as I said, the first one, there's no tight marking. It makes it easy for Burnley to score. And the other goals are counter-attack goals, so I don't know how people can say it's 2 bits of quality when it's Sunderland making it easy more in my head more than Burnley being good, to be honest. The talking points, do we make any changes to the team? I did think that game suited Enzo Lafay yesterday from the start, to be honest, because I think we would need that player in the middle to try and cut them open a little bit, play the balls in behind, this, that and the other, but wasn't meant to be. Does he come in for Brentford? I don't know, because I think Brentford's a very energetic team in midfield. I think obviously they won yesterday, they'd be on a high coming up here against Aston Villa team are really in limbo, really. And do you bring Enzo in? I don't think I think you'll probably just keep the same team. I think if we sign Lasumi before Saturday, I think Lasumi comes straight in from the off, and I won't be surprised if Mukiele does in place of Ballard if the injury is bad. Ridge just said after the game yesterday he's going to see how the scan is on Monday, but it didn't look particularly great. And it's the case with Dan Ballard. If he's going to be out, he'll be out for 4 or 5 weeks. This the way he gets his injuries, which you probably understand why we're bringing another centre-half in, because of Ballard's injury record. Other than that, I think the team more or less picks itself. I think even though he did miss that chance, you stick with Mayenda, because I think it was the thing under Mowbray with like if we want to go back in time, like the thing with Mowbray when Roos missed that sitter against Swansea, he was the better of the 4 options that we had, but he missed that sitter against Swansea and he wasn't seen again for 4 or 5 weeks, which obviously knocked his confidence. So you stick with Mayenda. Don't see it. I think he'll score. If he got that chance 10 times more, he'll score. And I know he would. If he goes with his left foot, he probably scores. Other than that, I don't think there'll be many changes for Brentford. I'd say it's just one of them days. The Premier League, I said, walking out the ground after West Ham will get beat next week, because that's the way the Premier League is, and it's the way Sunderland is. I've seen it plenty of times now past to sit there and go, fair enough. But it's just, I just don't know what was with them yesterday. I say we lacked imagination on the ball. It was very safe. I think for the first half an hour, there was 2 teams that didn't want to get beat. And I think that showed us the way we played. We weren't as intense as we were against West Ham. Was just one of them days. You couldn't really put your finger. I don't know how we can go from one game against West Ham to the other game against Burnley. So I don't think Burnley were particularly great, to be honest. People might think I've been harsh and just giving all the credit, just putting everything on Sunderland, but I don't think Burnley were great. I thought Burnley were there to get at. And I think if we were more clinical and more adventurous with our play, I think we would have beaten them yesterday. And it's just the way it is. You don't turn up for games, you get beat, unfortunately. So yeah, no need to panic. It's only 2 games in. Obviously, you got 3 points out of 6. We go and get a point. 3 points against Brentford, that's 4 out of 9. 6 out of 9. It's still a decent record compared to what the promotion sides were last year. And as I said yesterday, it's the first time since 2016-17 that all 3 promoted teams have won a game from game week 2. And there are teams that are there or thereabouts that will struggle this season. Obviously, Wolves got beat again yesterday and weren't very good. West Ham got hammered on Friday night 5-1 and were absolutely honking for the entire game. So there's no need to panic. Obviously, Brentford got a win yesterday, but if you look at the week before, they weren't very good. I was playing Aston Villa team are in limbo. You never know. I haven't watched Match of the Day yet, so I don't know how that game went. But it's no need to panic. I would say is remain calm. They'll see you've got a chance next week against Brentford and the week again against the international break against Palace. I think it'll be a busy week on the transfer front. A lot of players will be sold, loaned out, whatever. There's talk of Alan Brown going to Millwall, which I think would be a decent move for him. Obviously, Alex Neil loved him at Preston, so I think that'll be a clever move. Obviously, Trey Anderson's already gone. You imagine Hemia will find his way back to Portugal somehow. Bar and Pembele will find the way back to France. Then it's just whoever we loan out that we think do have some form of future at the club after this season. Obviously, the Abdullahs, the Ogunsuis, the Alexiches. So there'll be a busy week. And I still think the club will go all out to get that centre-half in, whether it's Lasumi or I don't know. Apparently, he had an absolute stinker yesterday for Bologna. And his agents practically come out and said, Bologna, can you sell him, please, because he wants to go to Sunderland. And I think we'll get another attacker in. It'll be a winger who can play up front to add a little bit of depth in the winger department for Dinger and Talby. They were getting stick yesterday. I don't think Talby played particularly bad yesterday. I thought he tried to make things happen. He ran in behind. He had that chance. Dinger will look dangerous without actually doing anything because he can push Kyle Walker back 10 yards. Because obviously he's got that pace with Enzo haven't when he came off the bench. Enzo not having that pace, Kyle Walker get touch tight because he's not going to beat you in behind for pace. So they changed the dynamic and made us very one-dimensional when he made his subs and putting Enzo out wide left. Maybe you should have played him in the middle and kept one of the wide players on, but it's all ifs and buts now. The game's gone. Obviously Leeds got beat yesterday off Arsenal. Handsome defeat as well. So you just got to keep our heads up. We've still got a plus goal difference. If we get another positive result, that stays intact. I think it was more of our own undoing yesterday than it was Burnley being particularly great. And Burnley fans will probably slag us off and think I'm not giving them any credit. I thought you defended your box well. Other than that, I thought you just capitalised on the lack of, what's what I'm looking for, the lack of intensity from Sunderland yesterday. See, if you watch the goals back, you see it for yourself. Repeating myself here, but there's no one within touch height of Jadon Anthony, so he's allowed the back heel, and Josh Cullen's got the freedom of Burnley to place that in the bottom corner, and the other goals are counter attack. So what are you going to do? I'm not at the game Tuesday. I don't think I'm going to do a full video of it, but I will do a couple of little shorts previewing the game and reviewing the game if I get a chance to see it. Then I'll be back probably Thursday with the main preview of Brentford, and I'm back next weekend with a review of it. Game's coming thick and fast now for Sunderland. If we do a big transfer, whether it's Asumi signs, I'll probably stick a video up for that. I'll probably review the transfer window at the beginning of next week. Then we'll just week after, sorry. Then we'll just go from there. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. See you next week for Huddersfield and Brentford. How are the lads?